So the most important thing in getting the child's voice and the child's views clear to us as adults is that building up of trust and building a relationship where children feel that they can say or communicate however they do what they're thinking and feeling to an adult that understands them, trusts them, isn't going to not listen or put their own agenda on what a child is saying. And for some organisations that can be quite difficult and challenging. And it's important that professionals who are working with children have enough time to be able to sit with that child and really establish those relationships. Otherwise, you're not really going to hear what the child really thinks.
So we're really thinking about listening to infants, really pausing, really watching, waiting and wondering what infants are saying to us. What is it that they're needing at this moment in time? What is it they're communicating with us? We really need to be thinking about our environment as well. Are we in loud, busy environments? Does it lend itself for us to really hear the infant's voice?
We need to make sure that we're facilitating hearing the child's voice with multiple different mechanisms and different approaches, especially when we're thinking about children and young people who potentially have additional support needs, potentially they don't have English as a language at all, or potentially they don't have English as their first language. We need to think about giving them different mechanisms in order to engage with us. We can also think about the tone of voice that they're using. We might want to think about a creative way of engaging with them. We also might want to think about using other professionals such as interpreters or people who speak sign language in order to support that conversation.
I think also designing processes that allow us to get the opportunity to hear children, so focus groups and surveys and panels and times when they can be listened to but then see the outcome of that and realise that what they're saying makes a difference, and when that happens they'll be more willing to talk to us again.
As you get to know a child, it's really, really important to speak to the family and get to know the family as well. The family can offer insights that you won't ever know, so it's really, really important to build a good relationship with the family too.
Another way that we can facilitate the child's voice is through information sharing. As a professional, if you've learned something about the child, their likes or their dislikes, it's really important that you share that with other people who might be working with the child. So they're going in already knowing some information about that child, and they might be able to develop a better relationship with them because of that.
So it's really important also for children to understand what will happen with the information that they might give us. So they need to know that that information will be shared with other people. So they'll also need to understand where it fits into a process. So if we're talking about responding to a particular need or because they have a particular identified need, they need to understand why we're asking the questions, what we're going to do with the information they tell us, and ultimately how that's going to affect them, whether it's how it affects them that day or that week or the months to come. It's really important that the child feels that they're part of the process.
Something that's really helpful when we're thinking about facilitating hearing the voice of the child or the young person is that continued support. We've talked about building the relationship with the child or young person before and allowing them that space and that trusted adult relationship in order to talk to us. We also need to make sure that we're continuing to support them afterwards, feeding back, keeping them in the loop, letting them know what's happening, when it's happening and why it's happening. This will continue to build confidence with the child or the young person to continue to work with that adult, know that what they've said is being taken seriously and acted on, and will help them go back to that adult or a different adult in the future.
I think a really big thing for young people is that we feel that what we have to say actually matters in any situation. And I think if anyone just listens to what we as a younger generation actually have to say and what our voices are telling people, then I think it would actually make a difference.